Hey, you've downloaded a bonus episode of The Ugly Truth. Today, you are going to listen to me and my sister, Stephanie, talking all kinds of crap. Celebs, I don't even know what else. A lot of stuff. But we had a great time, and we really hope you enjoy this extra content. Thank you so much, and enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie.
If someone said you can have one night with John Hammer, Bradley Cooper, I would be in a conundrum.
Stephanie.
A closed door means someone's in it, you asshole!
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
There's a fan going on in the back, and I don't care. Do not try to mute it out, Daryl. It's fine. It's too much effort. I don't care.
It's hot.
Yes. Okay. Welcome to The Ugly Truth, everybody. Ugh. Stephanie is here. What? Yes. Okay. So my sister, Stephanie, is here. Hello. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you.
We were talking a couple weeks ago. I had gone through, our mother hates any kind of memorabilia of our childhood. She gave it all to me.
I know.
So
Did you get the Cabbage Patch dolls yet?
Yeah, and you're going home with yours. You're going home with Frederick Jock. Absolutely. So
I thought his name was Xavier.
Was it Xavier?
I don't remember.
Oh, God.
That just popped in my brain when you told me that she was bringing the Cabbage Patch Kids over. I'm like, I may have renamed him.
Well,
though.
Xavier is the name of the dude who invented Cabbage Patch Kids.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
But I thought you
Is it written on his head or his butt or something, maybe?
There's a birth certificate, but Xavier is on his ass. They're tattooed on his ass.
That's what I remember.
Hilarious?
I can't believe I remembered that.
Yes.
I didn't even know why.
They have butts. That's what's crazy. These dolls, they have butts.
I can't wait for Jeff to see it.
He'll be like, what the fuck is this, mother?
He'll laugh because he's getting to that stage where everything's about
funny.
butts and armpits and...
Malia came down a couple days ago, and she had really ready looking face, and she has beautiful skin.
Yes, she does.
I go, what's going on? Do you have a rash, honey? She goes, I was picking. All right, let it go. And I was like, okay. I didn't realize it was inherited. I had no idea. We all do it.
Oh my God, everyone. I think Lauren is the only sane human being in our family.
How is that?
I don't know, unless she's hiding it from me. I've yet to see any total weird,
freaking believable
things about her.
Yeah, and I'm obsessed with art. I am obsessed with my skin.
Yeah,
just
I am
like
too.
You. Like, I'm obsessed. Like, I'm
obsessed that it's always horrible.
See this mark right here?
Oh my God, Jamie, I literally picked a skin tag off myself right here.
You did?
Right here.
Oh, you're so brave. I would never do that.
I had to do it. I couldn't stand touching it anymore. Yes.
I don't know if it's the weather or what, but I've been really itchy lately, and I get these little hives, and then I scratch them till they bleed, which is so bad. And the thing is, when they're hives, they're not like bites, and so they feel real deep.
Oh, I know. And then once you scratch it and it scabs, and then you really can't leave it alone.
And it fucking bleeds for hours. And I was like, what's going on? I'm like, do I have skin cancer?
You need a septic pencil, or what do they call those things?
Ooh, yeah. You know where I learned about those? Because when you clip a bird's claws too short, you use one, and it kind of stops the bleeding. But I know men use them for like old school. They used to use it, but anyway.
I've never actually seen one. I just know they exist.
So. They're like these little white golf pencils.
And I wonder what they are.
Septics? I don't know.
Well, a septic
is that a chemical? It's like
chalk? Like a septic tank is like where your poop and pee go if you don't have regular plumbing. So I don't think it's a septic.
Is it septic? Forget it. I forget it. If Paula was here, she'd be like, hold on. Google.
I know, right?
I'm like, don't Google it now. And she's like, and then I'll continue talking. She'll be like, 10 minutes later, so it's a pencil. Thanks a lot.
Well, she has value when that comes to stuff like that.
She's like, look, I participated. Like, yes, you did. Thank you. Anyway, all right, enough shit talking.
Sorry.
Okay, so, I live near an easement, and I live near the river, the American River. Yes. So we have a lot of wildlife around here. Like, a couple days ago, we had an owl.
I saw that.
Yeah, there was owls. There was all kinds of stuff going down.
That was cool. I love owls.
Well, Bodega cornered one once a couple of years ago. He wouldn't kill it though, because it's a raptor. The owl created this little divot in the dirt and put its wings clean straight out, and it was just sitting there in the dirt. And by the way,
please don't eat me.
Barn owls are tiny.
Yeah,
they're not big, and so he's
there's the big owls, but not.
We don't have those here. I don't think. I think we have the little barn owls. But anyway, he did it, and I told Daryl, I said, "There's something weird outside, but I can't tell if it's a rodent or what. But it's not a skunk for sure." And Bodega's just sitting there like with his ears perked up looking at it. He wouldn't touch it. He wouldn't bark at it. He was just staring at it. So we went out there, and it was a little owl, and he wouldn't mess with it at all. I think the owl would have done some damage personally, because they have those big-ass claws.
Oh, they do, yeah.
So,
they're like eagle talons.
Yes. And so we got Bodega in the house. Daryl scooped it up into a little box.
It let him?
Mm-hmm. He was terrified.
Aww.
So we left him in the box, and he escaped somewhere in the middle of the night.
What were you going to do with it?
Take it to a wildlife center because we thought he was injured.
Oh.
He wasn't, and he was gone. And we're like, okay, well, that's good news.
He was paralyzed with fear.
Yes. 2 nights ago, the juvenile raccoon family decided to enter our facility.
Have they been victims of
No.
Bodega in the past?
Yes.
Oh, he's killed raccoons?
He has killed raccoons before. And
Oh,
so
that
it
is
was
so
probably like 1 or 2 in the morning, and all of a sudden Bodega's losing his damn mind.
Was he in the house or outside?
Outside, because we keep him out.
Oh, yeah.
And so Daryl's like, what the hell's going on out there? So he goes out there, he's like, oh shit, he treed 2 raccoons, and they're small. They're babies.
Oh, no.
Not cute babies, but like juvenile, like
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah,
get
they
in
were
trouble
young.
babies. So they wouldn't leave the tree, and they were low, and Bodega literally can leave like 6 feet in the air when he wants to.
God.
He's snatched possums off the fence, no problem. So we're like, okay. And the problem is when he gets like this, he doesn't hear anything. He goes into like this blind primal.
So he won't listen to you?
No. And so Daryl had to go out there and grab him by the collar and pull him into the house. And then little raccoons finally took off. But Sasha was just watching and learning the entire time, and she was nervous. She kept yawning. That's how we know she's nervous.
My dog does that too.
And so, but he goes, but she was learning. She was standing right next to him,
like,
watching
oh, this is what
everything.
we
And I was like,
do.
holy shit! If she had caught one of those, she would have had to kill it, and he'd be like, kill it. And she'd be like, I don't want to.
Do it!
This is how it's done. So
It's like orcas. That's how they teach their babies.
really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
no,
Yeah,
they make him kill.
No, well, first when they're not big enough, they make them watch. And they show them, and they bring the prey close to them when they're
my
alive, so that they
God.
can flip them around and stuff, and then ultimately the adults will kill it and let it eat.
Right.
But eventually, then when they
They're
get
like,
big enough,
it's time.
They bring them in and they teach them how to hunt and
Yeah,
kill.
well, that's what you got to
that's
do.
what they do. They're mammals,
Circle
and they're
of
very
life.
smart. Yeah,
Oh, God, I know. So anyway, so there was that, and then
that's crazy.
was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I don't even know anymore. Days just kind of melt.
No, I don't even know what date. I have to look up the
I'm like, what day
date
is
literally
it?
every day.
So I was outside and I was watering my little garden, and Sasha and everybody was out, and it was kind of nice, and so it was like kind of evening-ish, and Sasha would not leave this little tree alone. It's along the fence line over here, and I walked by it like 10 times, and I was like, what are you even looking at?
All of a sudden, you're like, oh, wait.
There was a huge rat hiding in this tree that's basically like a freaking sapling, and she was just like crying, and then finally she went up on her legs, and
The rat?
No, she did.
Sasha.
The puppy, and was face to face with the rat, and the rat started to move, and I was like, okay, this rat is dying, clearly, because rats don't sit quietly.
Oh, I thought maybe it was scared and it couldn't get down because of the dog.
Well, that's what Daryl thought, but I brought the dogs in. I said, there's a dying rat in the backyard. He's like, what? I go, it is a rat. So he goes out there. He sees it in the tree. It slowly moves its way down, and it's trying to decide which way to go. Daryl's out there with the fish net, this big fish net that he has, because he's going to catch it. And he has his baseball bat.
Why?
And so I said,
It would have gone away.
Stephanie, we have such a rat problem and a mouse problem in this area.
I do too at my house.
And the thing is, I've heard, I knew where you live, I have heard of people going, get the poison, everyone! Like, they are serious.
We had to hire an exterminator.
Oh my gosh.
$2,200. It was ridiculous.
Okay, yeah, that's significant.
It was bad. They had to dig holes all around the entire house and put wire in so that the rats wouldn't tunnel under them.
Wow.
Because they were everywhere.
Oh, that's horrifying.
They're tree rats, is what the guy said. So
Maybe this was a tree rat. It was in a tree.
Because we have so many trees, they hop around in the trees and then they go on the roof.
Unacceptable. So anyway,
it's awful.
So Daryl goes out there and he gets his net. It just like basically like barely was moving. So I mean, it was dying.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what.
Maybe somebody else poisoned it.
Well, that's what I said, and I go, I don't want the dogs to get it because if they're poisoned,
they will get sick. Really sick. Yes.
And even if I wanted to let it die on its own, which is cruel when they're poisoned. If a raptor gets it, it'll kill the raptor.
Right.
So I'm like, we got to get rid of it.
It has to go.
So Daryl goes out there, and there's something weird about Daryl that I mean, you know him.
Well, he fishes.
You know him really well. As do I.
So he can kill things.
When you see him, you would never think in a minute that this is a man who could kill animals if he had to.
You're right. In fact, I was kind of surprised that he went out there with a baseball bat.
He went out there, he went out, got his Mizuno, his big aluminum ass bat, and his net, and he goes, I'll be right back. And he goes out there,
Thank God.
he grabs this thing, just like that. I go, did you kill it? He's like, well, yeah. And I said, wow.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, I apologize that I'm always so surprised that you can do this.
I would be too.
It's crazy.
I did not expect that ending.
One time,
I thought he was going to catch it and let it go. Or
one time
drown it.
Bodega caught a skunk that was as big as Sunny, my Sheltie.
Oh my
God. It was the
God.
biggest fucking skunk we've ever seen. He didn't kill it all the way.
Oh, God.
So Daryl went out there and killed it.
How? Same way?
Shovel.
Oh, he's like Charles Ingalls.
I can't believe it. Yes, he is. That's exactly who he is. Charles doesn't look like someone who would kill animals.
No, but he shoveled that raccoon in his barn that time when it was rabid, remember?
Yes, and almost killed Laura. I know. Had to happen.
Jasper.
Well, Jasper is dead.
Well, it wasn't Jasper, but they thought it was.
That's right. I forgot. There was a bait and switch.
It was an imposter raccoon.
There was a bait and switch. Anyway, so I was just like, I am so sorry that I forget that you can do this. You know, he's like, yeah, well, you do what you got to do.
You know, my ex is kind of like that because he's
so strange.
He's kind of a gentle soul from the outside as well, but he has no problem like chopping the head off something or killing it
crazy.
Or whatever.
And so
he's been butchering his own meat at his new farm. I guess they've done a goat.
Oh,
chickens.
Well, that's
I don't know,
bad.
other things, and he's got other things planned, like a pig.
I have witnessed a pig being slaughtered. I have witnessed chickens being killed.
Yes, I understand witnessing, but doing it yourself is a whole.
Oh, I agree. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I have seen the process. I have maintained that if I could, I would kill my own food. I would definitely hunt like elk and stuff, but it takes a lot of effort. And Daryl doesn't think I should have a bow and arrow.
Oh, you would do it like Ted Nugent style?
Yes. Well, you know, I've been watching that show Alone.
No.
Okay, it's on the History Channel. I know you don't know it, but I'm obsessed with it. Paula is the one who introduced me to it. Basically, they take 10 people who are survivalists, outdoor survivalists.
Yeah.
They have all these crazy skills where they can trap and hunt and fish and build shelter and all that crap. So they take 10 people, they put them in these Canadian islands or out by the outer banks of the Arctic Circle. And they have to survive for they have to survive 100 days out in the wild. They have to and they get nothing. They have they have supplies to like keep warm and stuff, but in general, they just have their skills.
Is it like the Bear Grylls show though, where they cut the camera and then everybody gets a sleeping bag?
No, everybody gets that stuff. They right out the gate they get that stuff, but they have to thrive. They have to be able to hunt and fish, forage, build their own shelters, all that stuff.
Are they together? Do they stay together?
They're all separated. So whoever the last man standing is who wins, and you don't know.
So what if they just say, "I give up. I don't want to do this anymore"?
You can tap out. They have a GPS and satellite radios, and they're just like, "Hi, this is Mike. I'm tapping out," and then they come and get you like immediately.
So what other way would you drop out?
Injury.
Oh.
Or sickness.
Okay.
They also do medical checks, so if you've lost too much weight, they'll pull you.
Right.
Which happens.
They don't want you to die.
Well, yeah, because people start starving, and they don't even realize.
Oh my God, have you seen that movie? Frick, I cannot remember what it's called, but it was. I didn't even know it was a true story until the very end.
What?
This guy, he was like a young kid. He was like early 20s.
Oh, the Alaskan thing?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's real.
I can't remember what it was called, but
yeah, there's been many. There's a book.
I was just like, wow, this is a really good movie and everything. And then when it was over, it was like dedicated to the blah blah blah. And I was like, this is real? I was like, oh my God. Who goes into Alaska and starves to death?
Well, people
on purpose.
The bus that he died in?
Yeah.
People were making the trek out there and begging for help because they were lost and they were dying.
I know,
so
fools.
They finally took the bus
out. I saw.
They were like, you guys
of course,
are
I had to
idiots.
Google the whole thing afterwards because
of
I
course.
was just so curious. I couldn't believe it was real.
When I saw that they're like, that's it. You guys can't have anything nice, and they take the bus away. I was like, you guys are fools. Why would you? The guy died.
He
of
died.
course it's difficult.
Right?
Why would you do that?
And it's so awful to think how he died.
He froze to death and starved to death.
He starved to death.
That's terrible.
It's just terrible. Anyway.
And it's just like when you're stuck on a boat with no water. It's the same. You go psycho. You get psychosis.
You do.
You have no concept of anything anymore, and you don't even
make
realize.
bad decisions, and you don't
over
know.
and over again. So anyway,
it's kind of like that show, but the show you're telling me about.
Yes. And so, yeah, and I think the longest person I've seen last is like 80 days.
So no one's ever made it the whole 100?
No.
Wow.
No, but I mean, there are some badass motherfuckers on that show.
So is this like the first season of it?
No, there's 7 seasons.
Oh, okay.
The seventh season.
Oh, great.
In fact,
now you know what I'm going to be binging when I get home.
and if you have Comcast or whatever,
I do.
you can just go History Channel. You can do. I finally figured out how to use the microphone on the remote.
Oh, my son taught me immediately.
And I'm like, alone. And then it pops out. And I'm like, oh,
this is awesome.
Yes.
That's how I do Below Deck. I'm like, Below Deck season 6, episode 12.
oh God. Okay, please tell me why I'm doing this. I binge watched the entire season of this last season of Long Island Medium.
Shut up.
I can't stop watching it.
Why? I don't even
know.
believe in that crap. Neither do you.
I don't know. But she's so good. And you know what I like about
that means
it?
she's demonic.
I know, but you know what I like about it? First of all, most of the people are Catholic, so they full on believe in spirits.
Reminds me of
all that
Whoopi
stuff.
Goldberg and Ghost.
And yeah, I've never seen her go,
She's like,
"You're in danger, girl."
You're in danger, girl.
But what I like about the show, honestly, is these people legitimately can move on, and to me, it's like a form of therapy.
Okay.
I know. But
Well,
it's
I mean,
like,
the thing is if you believe in it and you really truly do, then it probably is therapeutic
Yes.
to think that you have some kind of closure or
Right.
you've got to say what you
so
want to say.
it was
whatever.
really fascinating, and so she did a couple of celebrities. She did Taylor Dane, and I was like, God damn, Taylor Dane is totally Jewish, which I did not know.
I did not know that either.
She's like
although she looks Jewish.
She has no family except for her grandmother and her mother because they all died in the Holocaust.
Oh my God.
All of them.
Shut up.
No.
Oh, she's such
Seriously.
an interesting person. I have to look her up. Too.
Daryl met her and is just absolutely in love with her.
Well, she's beautiful when she's young.
beautiful now.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, her lips are a little big, but I don't think those are fillers. I think that's her
Oh, they
mouth.
have to be.
Her mouth was pretty big in the old days.
That's true. She was.
So I don't know.
You know what? Singers do have, and my husband
She looks like
often will
Steven
say
Tyler
this.
mouth.
He said they have funny, like
Yes.
that's why a lot of singers don't get nose jobs either.
I wouldn't.
Because, like, look at Barbra Streisand.
Right.
We're like, why doesn't she have any facial work? Because it would kill her voice.
you
know?
can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't mess with Mother Nature when you have a voice like that.
Speaking of, you and I both know about this. How do you feel about Jennifer Grey heading up a Dirty Dancing sequel?
Well, I didn't know she was the one.
Yes.
I cringe
Speaking
every
of nose
time.
jobs.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God.
She's not going to even look the same, and she's going to be in the movie.
Wow. She is unrecognizable, honest to God.
She was way prettier with her big nose. I
Oh,
hate that
completely.
happened. She claims
She got a
that
botched
she
job.
got a botched job.
Then she should go unbotched.
There's hardly any nose left.
Can't they rebuild it?
She looked like Michael Jackson. She can't do it.
No nose. Oh my God. He's like, shave it off. More. Okay, I just have
God.
nostrils on my head.
Now I look like a skeleton. Thank you.
Did you watch his documentary, the one when he died, why they were making it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty good, actually.
It was good.
That's how I got introduced to that girl guitar player.
Yeah.
She is amazing.
She
But
is
anyway,
good.
yeah. So I did
Jennifer
not
Grey.
know. Every single time they say they're going to remake a movie that I love, an
Yeah.
original, I usually don't pay attention because I'm just so disgusted because it's so awful.
Terrible.
I forced myself to watch the second Footloose. I had to do it.
What?
I mean, it took a long time before I watched it. It had been out like a year.
I refuse to watch it.
Oh, you still haven't seen it?
Absolutely not.
It's a complete waste of your time. Don't do it.
I'm not gonna.
So I watched it just because I wanted to see if there was even a glimmer of anything that I could take away from it. And I was so like, oh, God, this is awful. And I love Juliana Hough, not as an actress.
Yes.
But I love her as a dancer.
Yeah, she's good.
And her brother is hilarious.
She was good on Running Wild with Bear Grylls.
Oh, I haven't seen. I love that show. Yeah.
Her and her brother both did it separately.
Oh, I love him. God, I'm so in love
Derek?
with him. Yes, he's so hot.
Derek. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so I have kind of tuned out to that whole business, but the fact that she's involved with it gives me a sliver of hope.
Well, I'm curious. What I was telling Paula is I thought, or maybe I was telling you, is what I'm hopeful is that they have a lot to work with. First of all, we don't know what happened to Baby afterwards. We don't know
True.
if she and Johnny stayed together, which we're going to assume they did, and that he died. Obviously, they're going to have him die.
Oh, yeah.
Because Patrick Swayze is gone.
Oh,
But it's
I
a
hate
perfect
that.
But it's a perfect plot point, and especially
It
if she
is.
decides to go back to the Catskills. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of material to work with that it won't even be the same.
Yeah.
It'll just be we're taking.
So it's not a remake of the movie?
They're not remaking it. It's
Okay.
like they're time jumping. They're
Okay.
it's
It's like a sequel.
Yes, a legit sequel. But they're promising that it's going to have the same feel as the original. I don't know if that's true because
Are they going to bring it into the modern day? Or?
I don't think so. I think it's going to
Because
be
that
like
was one of the reasons I love the movie.
my guess is going to be like 5 or 10 years ahead.
Yeah. See, I should have been
Because-
born during that time period.
The 60s,
I would have
50s?
loved to have been raised in that time period.
pre-Vietnam War.
Kind of.
Because that's like 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
Like in between World War II and Korea.
You know what? And the more that we
There's so many
progress
wars.
with society, though, then I'm kind of like, that's really selfish because there were so many bad things about things back then.
People died from cancer all the time.
That's true.
And people died
they
at 50.
didn't get it as much.
And people died at 50 from heart attacks, like constantly.
I know.
I mean, I think that too sometimes. I'm like, I wouldn't mind living in those times. But then again, I'm like, in a bubble.
Yeah, you're right.
Being completely unaware
I
of
guess
life.
it's just the way that, maybe just the way that humans were better.
I don't know. I sometimes think it would be fun to live during the time when we established this country.
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be kind of kick-ass.
Like be a pioneer. Cross the wilderness to the west. People died like that constantly.
After watching the show alone, I have to tell you that I am so... I told Paul this. I go, I have so much profound respect for people who established this part of the land. They didn't die. Native Americans included.
Oh, yeah.
These people lived off the land, and there was no, I'm tapping out! Like, there was nothing. If you broke your leg, you were dead. There was, like, no doctor, no dentist. Can you imagine if you had a bad tooth?
It was terrible.
I'd be like, take it out. The barber would rip it out.
Oh, my God.
Like, my God. I don't know.
Barbaric. Yeah, I could not have done
I'd have to be in the big city somewhere.
I'm really interested in that part of it, though. I've read so many books and watched movies and everything. It is really interesting to me. But, I mean, it's easy to sit there and read a book in your warm bed while you have your flat screen and think how horrible it would have been to be in the wilderness cold.
Shaking your head going, well, that's unfortunate.
Well, they should have gotten a rabbit. How dumb.
Why couldn't they just not track rabbits? They're everywhere around here. I know.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, but yeah,
anyway,
you're right.
Okay, so we're hopeful that it'll be okay. The movie, the Jennifer Grey thing.
I do. I'm hopeful. I'll watch it. Absolutely. I have to.
Yes,
especially since it's a sequel. I thought it was a remake.
No, God, no. They could. How could they? No.
Well,
I know.
Footloose. I mean,
they did do a Dirty Dancing, not a remake, but they did a sequel, Dirty Dancing Havana.
Yeah, I never saw it.
Me either.
Oh, so I have no idea what it's about.
It has nothing to do with anything.
I think it was a Latin version, wasn't it?
It's the plot of some young girl falling in love with a hot Latin dancer in Havana, Cuba in the 50s.
They probably just threw the Dirty Dancing name on so people would watch it.
It didn't work.
No,
it didn't. And by the way, the Footloose thing, they paid Kevin Bacon to come out and go, no, you guys, you should see it. It'll be great. And everybody's like, fuck you, Kevin Bacon. We're not going to see it.
He looks good, too.
It's sacrilege. He's in his late 60s, Stephanie.
Shut up.
Yes,
no,
he's like
not.
60. Yes, he is.
He looks so good.
67.
Don't you think?
Yes.
I mean, he's one of the few.
I think he
Jerry
gets
came to me
Botox.
the other day. He's like, have you seen Val Kilmer lately?
Yes. I follow him on social media.
Well, I probably do too, but I know what he looks like. I've known for a long time. And
him and his little scarves.
But Jerry was genuinely so
concerned.
Distraught.
I know.
He was like, oh my God.
He's very ill. He's just ill. He has throat cancer.
Oh, is that what it is?
He refuses to acknowledge it because he's some weird... the religion is...
Scientology?
No. It's like something science, where basically they pray the illness away.
Oh, that's...
It's very
So
old
he's not
school.
getting treated for it?
He ultimately get his daughter somehow convinced him to finally go and get treatment, but I know he's definitely not doing chemo.
So he's going to die?
No, I think he's in remission. I think they got it. I think they got it. He might have had I think he had radiation, which is why he wears the scars. He probably has radiation scars.
Did he smoke?
No, but he has the same throat cancer that Michael Douglas had.
But he smokes cigars, I thought.
They were saying that it's from chlamydia, that they got it from eating women out.
Ew!
You didn't know that?
No, I had no
That's
idea.
What Michael Douglas said it, and everybody goes, "Oh, that makes complete sense."
That is so disgusting.
And everybody was like, Catherine Zeta. She's like, fuck you guys, it wasn't me. So
they've been married for a while.
forever.
Now.
Oh yeah, forever.
Still,
so it was pre.
Well, they're
still.
Probably 20 years apart, right?
Can you imagine if you could prove that the reason your husband has throat cancer is from all the women he went down on before you, and you'd be like, I have so many things I'd like to say to you right now.
Oh my God! And if they were going down on women who had chlamydia, it's like, what were they? He's like, see, everyone is like Tiger Woods. They just don't get caught.
That's
that
true.
Fool.
First of all, Tiger Woods never should have gone public with like, I'm so sorry. It's like, shut up.
Well, he really didn't have a choice. These
back
women
then,
kept coming out and going on the Today Show.
Back then, it was outrageous. Now it's just like, what?
Well, I mean, it was because
no one ever did it. No one ever did it.
Well, he spent his career building his image, and it was so stark contrast to what we all thought about.
0 endorsements.
Right.
Nobody.
To this day, Nike's like, meh.
We like him. We like him. He's good. Even though he hasn't won in a while.
I love him. He won the Masters last year.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
that
just
was so
joking.
fun.
Oh, God, I almost cried.
I think I did.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had a lump in my throat.
Not a big fan of watching golf. Daryl likes watching it,
I do
but I'm just
too.
like bored. But when Tiger Woods plays, I always watch the last half of his
I
rounds.
watch it. I don't.
Yeah.
I like
Which is
smart sports.
Why everybody likes him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I actually watch it occasionally even when he's not playing. But I like smart sports.
Yeah.
I think that's.
So
and
do you watch chess? And
No, come on.
Well, I
don't go
know.
overboard.
Polo. I don't know.
I also like physical sports, which is why.
okay.
But I'm absolutely in love with football, as you know, and so are you.
Yes.
I'm trying really hard to learn more about baseball. I know you're a total guru, but
I'm not a guru, but I do enjoy it.
you are definitely for a girl. You're a guru. You're even for a guy. I mean,
Actually, Daryl is
No, I know he is.
fascinating to listen to. I'm like, oh yeah, look at that. He goes, oh, 1978, game
Yeah.
3. I'm like, really?
I mean, the history part of it is like
I don't. It's just data. To me.
right.
I don't.
But if you love something,
Yeah.
you know, so I admire
Yes.
that. But still,
Baseball's fun.
baseball's
I like
just
it.
long. That's my problem.
Yeah, baseball is super fun. I've been enjoying that it's even back at all. I'm happy
Yeah.
about that. Football, I really hope. God,
I
my
don't even
fingers
know
are
what that is
crossed.
going to look like. Yes.
I just want the Raiders to be good. Please. Just
I do too, but
be
I'm just, you know
good.
what? There's so many, what I'm really hating about the NFL in the last 2 years is how please stop politicizing my game. I just want to watch football.
You know, I was curious about why the national anthem became such a thing. And what I found
It's not
out.
even that. Now it's the names of the teams. It's the this, the that. I mean, there's so many things.
But it was funny because I was just curious. I'm like, when did the national anthem become such a huge part of it? Because I don't, as a
Colin
kid,
Kaepernick, I thought.
No. As a kid, I couldn't realize, remember it being such a big deal to have celebrities singing it and having, the cameras out showing all the teams and all that stuff. Well, I believe it was in the 70s or the 80s. The military said, "Oh, this is a perfect breeding ground for recruitment," and so
fans.
Yes, because the average football fan is a male between the ages of
Younger.
16 and 25.
Right. That makes sense.
And so after the draft ended, they needed to recruit. And so they paid the NFL to sponsor, quote unquote, the national anthem, to have...
They did like the flyovers.
They do the flyovers. They honor veterans.
Yeah, they
do all
do.
that. Now, I love all of it.
Yeah.
But... it was not because we love America. It was
Right.
because we need bodies and we need them bad. And so
that makes sense.
and they pay so much that the NFL's like, well, we're not going to give the money back now. Now
Well,
this is just a
no.
part of our.
Well,
thing.
I mean, and now it's a thing. Like people who love the NFL and have watched it forever, they're like part
Right.
of the reason why they love it.
Right.
You know?
So-
for some, not for all.
But before, the players didn't even come out for it. Like there was
Yeah.
nothing. They were just
I
inside
remember
getting all
that.
warmed up, and
Yeah.
then they ran out.
it
And
was
they got
really
the-
just a thing, a PR gig. Yeah,
it was just
I
like
get it.
tradition. We play the national anthem before the game, and then it it's a recording,
Yeah.
and then everybody comes out afterwards. But now it's become like such a integral part of intro. I personally am not a fan of it. It took a lot longer than I expected, if you were looking at what's going on now, for people to start using it as a political thing. And so the fact that it took 5 years after decades and decades of it,
Yeah.
and no one tried to protest it, is
Right.
shocking. Actually,
Yeah.
surprising. So it's never going to change. It's going to always be
I just
that way
want
now.
it to be. If they want to just take it away altogether, I would be okay with
Me
that.
too.
But
Absolutely.
I just want to watch my game.
That's
like for
how I
me,
feel.
I literally just enjoy the sport.
Me too.
That's all it's about for me.
I know. I mean,
I don't even look at these guys like
Can't we just go back to being worried about brain damage?
Right.
I don't want to worry about
I mean, exactly.
I don't care that you're Republican. Just can we just go
Honest to
back to brain
God,
damage?
yeah. I mean,
Hear
that's the thing
about
about
CTE again?
I loved about football is that
Yeah.
you would know the players' names and stuff, but you really didn't know much more beyond their skill and what team they were on and that kind of thing. Now I have to know everything about you.
I have told this.
You beat your wife.
I have said
if you're
this
a druggie.
so many times. I love social media, but I also
Yeah.
hate social media because I don't want to know that Chris Pratt is a Republican.
Oh,
I don't
is
want to. Yeah.
Oh.
He married Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter.
Well, that's true, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
He's pretty conservative. But the thing is like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I don't
Is that
want
why
to
you guys hate Chris Pratt?
I don't hate Chris Pratt.
Oh, Paula does.
Does she? I think she hates. I thought she hated Chris Pratt because he looks like her ex.
Which one?
The current one.
Oh, No. Ugh.
He does.
I guess. Yeah, you're right. They have some similar features.
They have some similar features, but no,
Yeah.
I don't know why she hates him. She doesn't like anybody.
When we did the one episode where we did the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yes.
And mine was the one with Chris Pratt in the movie. I can't remember one of the Jurassic Parks. Remember?
Oh,
I hated it.
yes.
Yeah.
I hate Chris Pratt.
She's like, I hate anything Chris Pratt's in. I won't watch anything he's in. I'm like, why?
Her thing is she doesn't like anybody who she decides has sold out.
Oh.
I don't know what that
How
means.
did he sell out?
I don't know. I think it's because, I personally think she just like people who have success, but I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Paula, do you listen to the show? Sorry.
She doesn't. So anyway, so I don't know. But anyway, the other thing that's going on right now is there's a rumor going around that Bradley Cooper and Jen Garner.
I saw. They were at the beach together.
With his baby. And I was like, what?
Right.
Now, I did some deep digging because I'm like, this is an odd coupling. But they were really close when he was on Alias with her 100 years ago when she was on TV playing whatever that superhero was. He was one of the somewhat good bad guys.
Okay.
So
and they know each other.
And there was rumors back then that they had a thing.
Well, I love her.
I love her too.
She's the most celebrity I've ever.
She's so average.
Very normal.
Yeah,
and
she's although she has really bad taste in men. Let's be real. She has really bad taste in men, but I think
bad but good. It's like she likes the kind of bad guys.
She does, but I think she's a fixer.
Yeah.
I think she sees a project and goes, you know what? He would make such a good husband.
Right.
Or whatever. If only I can get him to quit the drugs. That'd be great.
Or stop
gambling or whatever.
Stop drinking.
Ben Affleck, wow. That's shocking.
What, that he's such an alcoholic?
No, that she tried to fix that. I mean, he's a mess. I mean, and he's a constant project.
I didn't realize what a hot mess he actually was.
I actually really like Ben Affleck.
Oh, I do too. As an actor, I think he's great.
I'm constantly rooting for him. Constantly rooting for him. But Bradley Cooper, I'm actually not surprised. He's such a mama's boy. He loves to be taken care of.
Is he Southern?
No, he's from New York.
Oh.
He's Italian.
Oh, I love him. I think he's absolutely adorable.
He's the most gorgeous man
I would love to roll around in the hay with him for a few minutes, but yes, he's hot.
Him and John, if someone said you can have one night with John Hamm or Bradley Cooper, I would be in a conundrum.
Right.
Like a significant issue.
Can I have a threesome?
I'm like, no, I couldn't do it. I'm not that confident. I couldn't do it.
Well, I mean, that's why I think it's funny whenever we pose questions like that to each other, because I'm like, at the end of the day, I would never take even off a sock in front of one of those people. Are you kidding?
No. I would be like,
I mean, what would Paula do if she had Leonardo DiCaprio in her room?
She would swing from the chandelier.
But it would require her to take off her clothes.
She would not care. She would be like, let's do this.
I mean, the man has sex with Rihanna, for God's sakes.
I wish they could work that shit out, but that's never going to happen.
Well, I mean, he is perpetually single. He's never been married. He has no children. I mean, how old is he? He's got to be, what, our age?
50.
Yeah. Oh, God, he's so good looking,
He's
too.
really cute.
He's just ridiculous.
He's really good. He's an attractive person. But anyway, so I can see how this might work out. I think he really wants someone like his mom, and she's so mom.
She's very, very
But
momish.
she's so...
Which is why,
she can be sexy, though. I have seen her.
No, she can't.
My God, she's so pretty.
I was actually so surprised when I found out that her and Ben Affleck were getting married. And I think they met on the set of Pearl Harbor, right?
Maybe.
I think that's where... And I was like, of all the beautiful women that were in Pearl Harbor...
Yeah, Kate
Beckinsale was just... stunning in that movie.
Sorry, she's screwing young 20-year-olds now. So.
Is she? Good for her.
I know. That's what I said.
Oh my God. Amen.
She was dating who's the guy everybody thinks he's so ugly, but he's cute because he's tall.
Is he famous?
Yeah. He's the comedian. He was in The King of Long Island. What is his freaking name? Oh, I'm sorry, everyone. You know who it is. You're screaming at the computer right now, listening.
I have no
He's
clue.
a comedian. I want to say Steven,
Paula,
but it's
where are you when we need you? Google.
Oh, she hates him too.
She does.
Oh my God.
Well, anyway, so
she does walk around with big dick attitude, though. So I'm sure that's what it is.
Well, I'm sure that's all she's using him for.
Well, they're not together anymore. But he has dated every single hot woman you can possibly imagine. Ariana Grande, Kate Beckinsale. He was dating Larry Miller's daughter.
Isn't that ugly guy?
Yes.
Oh my God, the one in the movie that he just came out with that you loved.
Yes.
Okay, why are we not thinking of his name?
I don't know. But I hate myself.
Okay, but I know who you now. I know who you're talking about.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll see if anything happens with that. Bradley Cooper.
How does he get hot women?
Big dick. I'm telling you.
He's ugly. I mean, he is fugly.
He looks like he has had surgery.
Pete. What's his name? Pete something.
Pete Davidson.
Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I don't have a problem with, I don't know if I would sleep with them or not. Because,
Right.
if someone said, no, you have to, I'd be like, okay.
And I really have any right to talk about what somebody looks like because I have always dated ugly men. And married, well, with the exception of my first ex. I don't think he's hideous, but
That's funny.
everyone else I've ever dated is pretty much ugly. So here I am.
I like nerds, so...
I don't know what it is. It's all about personality for me.
I agree. Oh, John Legend and Chrissy Teigen are pregnant again.
I saw.
I watched the entire video.
I don't know how I feel about her.
I love her.
Do you?
She's so fucking awkward.
See, people even love her or they...
Yeah, they do. They hate. She's a love-hate
hate
person.
her.
There's no in between, though. You either really like her or you're like, I don't care for her.
Yeah.
It's not a hate. It's just like
I don't hate her.
I like her.
I think it's one of the things where I'm like, I don't really get the hype, with her.
Right. Well,
But-
she's really. I don't know. I just like her. I've seen her make so many awkward movements. Like she trips a lot. She spills a lot.
Yeah.
She's very.
But, she's so
clumsy.
beautiful.
She's gorgeous. And John Legend can't get enough of her, which I absolutely love.
Well, yeah, they're adorable together.
I freaking love it.
Yeah.
And this is not his first marriage. That's why I love it.
I didn't know that. Who was he
No.
married to? Anybody?
Oh wait, was he married before? Or I was listening to something and
He
he
has a
said
baby with somebody probably.
I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't know. But I do remember him saying that until he met Chrissy, he had no respect for relationships. He fucked anything that moved. He
Yeah.
justified cheating like it was nothing.
Right.
Nothing mattered. Then he met her and he's like, I can't even fathom doing it.
Being with anyone else.
Well, he goes, it's just so disrespectful.
Right.
And I'm like, interesting how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
So
I mean,
crazy.
it's true. If you find the right person, it is. We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah,
remember?
because Paula goes, of course, I'm the only comment she didn't like, but she's just like, she posted a meme that said, if a man meets someone that he truly loves, is it true that he doesn't see anybody else?
Right.
And I said, yes. And everybody's
Yes.
like, 100%, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And she liked all of them but mine. I'm like, fuck you, Paula.
Why?
I don't know.
That's petty. All right. Well, anyway, who cares?
It's petty that I even noticed.
I do notice stuff like that.
I think-
but you know what? I only notice it when it's like one of my sisters does.
That's what I'm saying.
I
I'm
don't
like-
notice it if other people don't.
I don't. Sometimes it's more like, of course she said yes, and then she moved on, or I don't know.
But I mean, knowing currently what's going on, in our world,
Yes.
it makes sense,
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's frustrating not to find the one, or when you do find the one, it's just so tumultuous.
I
What'd you
can't
say?
tumultuous. I can't even imagine being single during a quarantine. That's gotta really freaking suck.
I don't know if it sucks. It might not be a bad thing.
Well, if you're a solitude person, then it's probably not
I mean, I'm a
bad.
solitude person.
But if you were like
but-
big on like, okay, this is the year I'm gonna get married, and then you can't really.
But I mean,
do anything.
when you've gotten to the point like when someone coughs, you give them the dirtiest look you've ever given anyone.
I've done it.
I've been doing it. I mean, the other day, I cannot remember what I said, but Jerry finally looked at me. He's like, should I just move out and go to get my own house? And we'll just see each other a couple times a week. And I'm
Well,
like,
you do spend a lot of time in the garage. You could just go there. Get a fan.
he's been going in the garage a lot lately.
That is
because
so
I
funny.
am so annoyed all the time.
Well, I think everyone is. I mean,
I walk in the room and well, I'm rolling my eyes, by the way.
Daryl, I know it's hard to believe, but he is annoying. And so
No, it's not hard to believe.
he'll come in, like if I go into the computer, I'm like, I'm just going to sit here quietly and just look around at some stupid shit. And he'll come sailing in and sit down at his desk. And I'm all,
What? What do you want?
and now I no longer am focused. I'm only seething. And so finally I turn and I look at him. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, what? And I'm like, why are you in here? I go, are you working? It's
You are
Sunday.
me. We are so
I know. I go, are you? It's Sunday. Is there something you need to do right now? He goes, well, I just thought I'd look up something. And I'm like, all right.
I broke a piece of cabinet in my kitchen the other day because we have like the oldest, most decrepit, horrible kitchen cabinets. A little sliver of wood came off the edge. All right.
no.
Well, I didn't notice it, but of course Jerry immediately noticed
Okay.
it.
So he.
God, our house is turning into a trash pit. Immediately he starts going off, and I'm like, I look over and I see what he's talking about. He's like, where's the missing piece of wood? Where did it fall when it fell off? I go, well, I didn't notice it, so I don't know.
In your food.
No, it was
I'm
it was like
kidding.
it was probably either under the refrigerator or the
Yeah.
oven somewhere because
Yeah.
I had just swept and I didn't see it.
Right.
So he starts looking around, and as he's looking around for it, crawling around on the floor and everything, he's bitching. He's like, damn it, rah, rah, rah. And I finally I'm like, is this an emergency? I'm making dinner. It was like 6:00. I had stove on. I had everything going. I was chopping things and everything. And I'm stepping on him, and then I'm getting furious, and I'm like, this does not need to be done right now. He's like,
Daryl does that to me.
So it's stomping off. I'm like, why now?
He's like, excuse me, I think I'm going to empty the garbage. I'm like, now? I have 4 pans and I'm chopping.
But you couldn't do it earlier when I was...
Take a second. I'm going to unload the dishwasher while you're doing this. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
I literally leave. I just leave.
I walk out too often. Yeah, I do. I have shut the stove off and literally walked out until he was done doing what he was doing.
I appreciate that he thinks I'm the nucleus of his life and he has to be around it all the time, but it's really fucking annoying.
I know, because
I'll go upstairs and watch TV for hours. He's like, well, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, miss, may I come in?
Miss?
And I'm like, what do you want? And he's just like, I just wanted to know if you wanted water. I'm like, no, you didn't. Get out. I don't know what you think you wanted. You just want to make sure I'm not mad at you. Get out.
The other day, I literally was like, I like going into my master bedroom bathroom. It's the farthest away in the house, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Inner sanctum.
No one can hear anything.
Yep.
In fact, you can be searching for somebody. It's the last place you think to look. It's like, oh, the master bedroom bathroom.
Yes.
So I went in there. I was literally in there for a minute. I heard, doo, 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 doo. It's my son.
Yes.
I hear him pop on my bed. And I'm like, whatever.
No.
I can handle my son.
Yeah,
all right, fine. He's 2 seconds later. Do, 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 do. Where's mom? I'm like, I mean, my ass had barely sat down on the seat for like 30 seconds, and everyone in the house was looking for me.
And then suddenly, I mean, nothing's happening now. You might as well just get up and leave.
He opened the door.
Oh, no.
I'm like, a closed door means someone's in it, you asshole. He's like, sorry. Shuts it. I'm like,
why does that happen? You know, when I do that, if I go somewhere, especially downstairs, but even upstairs, I'll be up here. Daryl will come in. Malia will come in and sit down. The dogs will come in. I'm like,
honestly,
what is this? I'm like the Pied Piper of the family.
That's my line. I say it all the time. Just walk somewhere and the trail of humans will follow.
Do you watch Netflix original programming besides The Crown?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Usually it's because you tell me to watch something. I
watched Indian Matchmaking. I don't know if you would like it or not. I also watched something called Love on the Spectrum.
Don't know it.
I'm going to tell you. It is absolutely adorable. It is about people who have autism, but they're not so.
Oh, I get it.
They're not so compromised that they can't. They can function.
Oh, there's very high functioning autistic.
They have jobs. They, whatever. But they obviously lack the social skills that it may require to find a partner. And so they.
It was like that movie with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, or not Julia Louis. Remember, she was like, it was called Sisters or something like that.
Oh,
do you know what I'm talking about? And she ends up meeting that.
Yeah, but no.
Well, neither one of them were really autistic.
No. Yeah.
Actually, Down syndrome it was.
No. This is different. So anyway, when you look at them, you're like, okay, something's clearly not completely normal. But, you think, especially as jaded as we are, that I would hate it or I'd be uncomfortable or it would be like they would be exploiting these people.
Right.
Which I hate more than anything.
So do I. So bad.
Total opposite. I was moved to tears many times.
Aww.
These people are in their 20s and mostly men. There were a couple of women and there were 2 couples that they highlighted. And I mean, first of all, it cannot be understated how important parents are when you have a child who's on the spectrum.
I do know
the
that.
Parents who, I mean, and they are just like, he's the most wonderful person. He's loving. He will be a wonderful husband one day. And they like teach them how to be social. Mm-hmm. They teach them how to interact. It's fascinating,
right?
Because they literally are missing something, and they go, well, they even say, they're like, well, my brain is different, that's all, but I still want a girlfriend, I still want to get married or whatever. So they were setting people up on dates. They had speed dating for them. They had all this stuff, and they're all still single. But they were
like a failed millionaire matchmaker.
But they're learning how to interact with the opposite sex. Or the one girl was gay, so she was having dates. They both loved each other. They were immediately hit it off. It was so cute. But they decided the one girl just couldn't do it. She was too anxious.
Aww.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
But they made a ton of friends. And
sounds adorable.
The 2 couples, they're like, it's really easier because we understand each other. We understand what we can or cannot do.
Yeah, for sure.
And so they worked things out. Like this one couple moved in. They only had 2 forks, 2 knives, 2 spoons, 2 plates, 2 cups. And they go, and the camera person was the director. And he goes, what's going to happen if you have company? He goes, well, they'll have to bring their own utensils. Like, that is what it is.
That is the way it is, sorry.
But they were super brilliant, really, really smart. Yeah. And so I was so disappointed that none of them found a match.
Aww.
I wanted them so desperately to find love, and it was all filmed in New Zealand.
Oh.
You would like it.
I'm sure I would.
I was pleasantly surprised. It is pure, innocent, fun.
Everything makes me
like-
cry. That's the thing. Is like you cry
I do too.
so easily.
I cry constantly.
I hate
Always.
it.
I was watching something the other day. I was on Reddit, and I was looking at things that make you smile. It's a subreddit, and it was pictures of like a dad. They had a video. Mom was videoing the dad watching his daughter leave for college.
Oh, God.
And he's trying, and his face keeps changing. He's smiling, and then he's trying not to cry, and he's just watching like his life walk away.
Oh my God.
And I was
I could
like,
cry right now. Just
I was
talking
like,
about it.
oh, he's such a good father. I hope she understands. It's like that constantly. And I was telling Daryl, I said,
God.
every time a baby's born, I don't give a shit what it is, I cry. Even if it's a television show.
Oh yeah, when they're born.
When
yes.
a baby is born, I weep.
Yeah, I do
don't know
too.
why. It's the craziest
I think
thing.
it's a motherly thing.
I didn't cry when my kids were born.
Well, you're just that's impossible. I mean,
I just couldn't do it.
you're just way too. No, that's
overwhelming.
It's so chaotic when you're giving birth. But
Indeed.
But after the fact, though, I mean, I had moments when I was alone with my kids after they were born where I was a little emotional. I can remember being very emotional when I had Jeff.
Really?
When we were alone.
Aww.
Yeah,
that's
it
so
was.
sweet.
It was such a journey that
was
by
a
the
journey.
time I had him, and he was just so amazing that I literally was like, "This is exactly why this happened," you know,
Yeah.
because he's so amazing.
Aww,
and I
it's
just
so
love
true.
him so
I was like that
much.
with Malia after a while. It took me a minute, but once I attached to her,
Yeah, we're all different. I didn't
Yeah.
have the same feelings when Lauren was born, although I just absolutely adored her too. It was just
Yeah.
different. I was very young.
Yes. Okay. So now we've come to the point where we have to discuss our ugly and awkward moments of the
Yes.
week. Do you have one?
I kind of do. All right, so we've been quarantining as well.
Yes.
I'm getting ready to go back to work, so I've been ordering a bunch of things to try to look different, I guess, when I go back. I don't know. And I never, I should have had one years ago, but I never bought, what do you call them?
Spanx?
Yeah. Well, what do you call it? Like body shapewear.
Yeah, shapewear.
Right? I
Yes,
never ever
yes.
did.
Yes.
I think one time I bought some underwear that had like a elastaband over them for someone's wedding, and they were horrible, and I didn't wear them.
You know, that's the thing that sucks about undergarments that are supposed to kind of keep everything in. Old school not girders, but old school girdles were better because they
Right.
actually like laced up and zipped
Yeah.
and they stayed. Whereas now it's like, oh no, it just looks like a body stocking and you just put it on. Except
And then it rolls down.
Then it rolls down,
And
now
it's
you,
worse.
It's awful.
Yeah, so I think that's probably why I never really,
Yeah.
Well, these days, you know, as you get older and
Options.
you have a little bit more money, you know, you can really get some decent stuff. So I was like, you know what, it's now or never. Let me just
do
because
it.
some of the things I ordered, I'm like, you have got to be fucking crazy thinking you're going to get your ass in that. But I'm going for it. So I did my research and I found the perfect thing and I spent a little bit of money on it. And it came delivered the other day. I've been having boxes, like almost a box a day every day for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Welcome to my world.
Right. And they're all for me.
I know, it's
And
fun.
so Jerry has gotten kind of used to me getting something. And he got this really pretty box came, and everything was tissue wrapped, and I was opening it, and when I pulled it out, I mean, the way they had it packaged and everything, it was actually on a hanger.
Oh, nice.
And it was like it was like wrapped in like a really thick clear
Pretty.
plastic. Yeah, really pretty. I was really impressed. And I held it up, and I was so happy, and Jerry's like, "What's that, a scuba suit?" I'm like, I go, "No." He's like, "Well, where the hell are you going to wear that thing?" I go, "It goes under your clothes, you asshole, for when you're fat." He's like, "Oh."
And you're probably turning red.
I was
embarrassed.
Well, I was a little, just because his reaction was completely innocent. Like, he literally had no idea what he was asking.
Such a
But then,
dude.
as I had to explain it, it was like, oh, you know. Then he felt bad, I guess, a little.
It's awkward.
But it was awkward, and it's been a long time since I've been awkward in front of my husband.
Well, I mean, you know, the thing is, it's like, it's that, you know, that, like, nobody wants to know how the hot dogs are made.
he knows I'm fat.
No, it's not even about that, but it's like no one wants to know the
actual snout.
the twine and string that it requires to be put together every day.
Right.
Like, you don't want to see that part.
Right.
And so he gets to see it. Daryl has never seen my undergarments, the shapewear shit. ever.
Well, he probably never will see again because it was only because I was opening it and he happened to be in the room. But
Plus, I mean, they always go, well, it was just a skin color.
honestly, I didn't think he would know. I didn't think he normally doesn't give a shit when I order things and to even look to see what I'm opening. But it's just this one day, the only thing that I open, he wants to suddenly know what it is.
The one thing that no one's going to see.
Right? I mean, I've ordered bras and underwear that I've had for a year, and then all of a sudden he'll come in and be like, oh, that's cute. Is that new? And I'm like, yeah, like 16 months ago. You know? Anyway, yeah.
It's so true, though.
Not the greatest ugly and awkward moment,
it's awkward.
but it's a quarantine moment.
It's awkward. So you saw the little patio furniture we have downstairs. Okay, it's really cute. Yes, it's really big and roomy. I got them extra wide because I want to be able to sit in it.
Put your legs in it and stuff.
I did, which I do. And then there's an ottoman. Well, there's no rug or anything under it. So I'm sitting in there, I'm having my coffee. I finish my coffee, and the dogs get really wild in the morning. And so I get angry with them, and I'm like, hey, shut up! Just shut up! I'm like, God, that's it. I'm getting your Kongs. And I fill it up with peanut butter. So I was getting up, forgetting that there's...
Were you alone?
Yes, Daryl was working. So I was getting up, forgetting that there's no rug or anything. And I get up and I take the ottoman and I push it to get out of my way so I can get up. Well, when I pushed it, I literally pushed myself and fell on my ass.
Forward? Oh.
I literally did that thing. No, I used my legs to push it.
Oh.
So when I pushed it, somehow
you were too close to the edge?
Yes. And I fell hard on my ass.
Ow.
And the dogs were like, what are you doing over there? And I'm like, shut that's it. And then you have to awkwardly get
spinal cord.
God, and then what is it? It's like you awkwardly get up. I'm like, this is what it's like to be old. Like this is what it is.
100%.
Everything hurts, and I'm struggling to get up off the floor.
I know.
So
oh my
angry.
God. Well, you're just lucky no one witnessed it but the dogs.
Yeah, that was really embarrassing too. And
well,
I did think,
Jamie, you get angry.
And I did think that the neighbors might have seen it.
Were you looking around, like, oh my God?
You know, honestly, I was afraid to. I just wanted to get out of
it. Let me just get in the house as quickly as possible.
And then I'm like, fuck you, dogs. You're not getting anything. Just be out here.
Forget it.
I was so
the
mad.
whole thing's ruined.
I hate it when I'm awkward like that. It's been a long time since
I would be
fallen.
really grateful that you were awkward alone.
Oh yeah, well Daryl has witnessed way too many things. He's seen me fall downstairs. You know, he's seen me hit myself. I mean, I don't know. There's all kinds of shit. He's seen me literally one time. One of the most awkward moments I had was we were all getting into the car, and I was walking towards the car, and I was wearing like heels, and he turns and looks and he sees me heading out. I fell flat on my face.
Oh my God.
And he goes, I turned once and then you're there, and I turn again and you were gone. He's like, I didn't know where you went.
Sprawled out on the ground.
I was. He's like, Jesus.
Remember the time I fell in that restaurant? I think I told you about that.
What?
Wait,
say it again. I don't remember.
We were at an oceanfront restaurant, and it's one of those restaurants where basically the whole seating area is in the front, facing the ocean, so that everybody has an ocean view. Yes. And they put us at a really pretty booth, but it had a step to get up to the booth. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it was a Friday night. It was really dark in there. You know, it was very kind of sultry. There was live music,
right.
I had probably had 10 or 15 glasses of wine. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't like sloppy drunk, but
you were feeling good.
But later on, when I was thinking about like, what the fuck? How did I fall in a restaurant? You know, I was like, God, could it have been? Was I that tipsy? You know, I was like so embarrassed. But I got up to go to the bathroom, and I took a step down. I forgot about the step. That's
happened to me.
Yeah, and it didn't have any lights on it or anything, which, of course, I immediately want to blame them. Like, this is your fault! This is a safety hazard!
I want to talk to the manager.
I wanted out of there so bad. Thankfully, it was at the end of the meal.
You're like, I'm waiting in the parking lot.
But I didn't just trip. I literally fell down on my hands and knees. God. And it was so humiliating. I mean, and Jerry, you know, normally when you fall in front of your spouse or you do something,
go, oh,
yeah, he was so mortified that I did that. He's like, "What are you doing?"
Blaming you.
Yes. You idiot, get up! He didn't say that.
I know. In your mind.
But that was his face. Like, oh my God. And when you realize you just fell in front of everybody, right?
And then what's funny is when you do that in your mind, you're all, no! You're like,
I was so shocked and so stunned that I had done it.
Did you look around to see who was watching?
I mean, everybody was watching. There were literally tables. It was full. It was packed.
It could have been one of those things, though. It could have been worse where, like, if you'd fallen and, like, reached for something. the table or the person in front of you.
Trying to stop myself.
That would have been way worse.
What was horrible is we had one of probably the greatest booths in the restaurant because it was a little elevated.
Sure.
It was facing the ocean, so all the tables were like, "Oh wow, that's a great booth," and then here I come. I swear to God, I had never left a place so fast in my life. That was definitely by far.
I feel like
the
I just
most.
fell recently, and I can't remember what it was now. I've blocked it from my memory. I'm almost positive
I would love
fallen.
to block that one from my memory.
Yeah, that's bad. I'm always so afraid now. I'm so clumsy. I'm afraid that I'm going to fall and break a hip. Every time I walk downstairs, I'm like, this is really a bad idea. I just don't want to live here anymore.
I assess every situation before I just go for it. I used to not, but now I'm like, no, you cannot trust yourself.
I notice when I'm walking, I literally look down. I never act like I
get so mad at Jeff or Jerry if they step in dog poo or something disgusting.
How can you not see
I'm
it?
like, why are you not looking down while you're walking?
always
And they look at
walk.
me like, what? And I'm like, I just constantly walk looking in front of me.
Down. Yeah, always.
But it's because I'm clumsy, and I would be the first person to step in the poo if, I mean, it hasn't happened in a really long time because I'm aware of it.
You're looking down.
Right.
I know, it's so true. All
anyway.
right. Well, anyway, those are our ugly and awkward moments. This has been a total blast, and you need to come back and do it some more. Thank you for sitting in. Thank you for listening, and that's it. We'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good week, everyone.
Bye. What was that? You sound like a parrot. You sound like a fucking... It's like, all right, Allison. Right?
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.